Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Maybe over a week late, but it's never too late to say congratulations, as there are 3 new members of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Congratulations go out to 3 new members. 2 of them are first ballot Hall of Famers. One of them was on his 6th year on the ballot, I believe. Yep, 6 years, it looks like here from the notes here. And they will be joining Jim Leyland, former manager, this summer in July, at the induction ceremony for the class of 2024, the National Baseball Hall of Fame. What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we're here to break down these three amazing players who got in. One of them, I'm not going to lie, I am a little surprised. I'm happy for him. It could pave a way and give some hope to some others down the line, whether they've not reached the ballot yet or did not get voted on by the Writers Association and maybe the Veterans Committee. But yeah, definitely a surprise there. But yeah, three first-time inductees. Well, 2 of them are first-time inductees, but 3 members of this class, almost 4. There was one who is going to be on their 10th year next year, who was 5 votes away from getting in. 5 away. Dang. Maybe next year. We'll wait and see. But let's talk about this. So, the 3 new members of the Hall of Fame, and 2 of them, there's no doubt which team's going to go in. Well, all 3 of them, there's no doubt which team they're going to go in as. The first one, of course, is Adrian Beltre, who received 95.1% of the vote. Followed by him was Todd Helton on his 6th year on the ballot, who got 79.7% of the vote. He had 72% last year. And then again, the one that surprised me the most, first year on the ballot, Joe Mauer got 76.1%, 293 votes. Again, you need 289 to get that 75% to get into the Hall of Fame. The person who came the closest and will be on their 10th year on the ballot next year was Billy Wagner, who had 73.8%. I really think he should get in next year. I think he has earned his spot in there. A few others who came close after that. We'll mention a couple got over 50%, but again, we'll talk about them in a little bit. But let's first talk about the men of the hour. Again, Beltre, Helton, and Mauer. We will talk about each one of them. First one, of course, is Adrian Beltre, who spent 21 years in the majors. I believe he was 19 when he made his major league debut, I believe it was. He spent a 21-year career with the Dodgers, Mariners, Red Sox, and Rockies. He finished his career with 3,166 hits, 477 home runs, and the 3rd highest Baseball Reference wins above replacement mark at 93.5 of any third baseman in history. He finished in the top 10 of the MVP voting 6 times, including being runner-up in the 2004 MVP voting. I believe I saw a stat here where is it? I thought I saw it here, but maybe I looked away from it. Let me double check here. I swore I saw something comparing him to Jeter, but I can't find it. But I thought it was in the notes here, but I guess it's not. But anyways, maybe we'll come around here too later on. But Beltre, he is the 5th player born in the Dominican Republic to reach the Hall of Fame. He had of course, had some unusual talents, of course, in his 20s. Here's the mark right here. He is the only infielder, he's one of 2 infielders to collect 3,000 hits and win 5 Gold Gloves. The only other infielder ever to do that in Major League history is Derek Jeter. He's the only other person to do it. Beltre, of course, didn't really get on the path to his Hall of Fame career, though, until 2010 at his age 31 season when he signed a 1-year contract with the Red Sox. Because, of course, he was with the Dodgers, was still finding himself. I still think his best year was still that 2004 season with the Dodgers when he led the league with 48 home runs. And again, he was the runner-up in the Hall of Fame vote. I mean, not Hall of Fame, the MVP voting that year. But I feel like that was his best season. He hit over 320, 330 or something like that. 120 some RBIs. Probably his best season. I know, of course, he did hit some marks several times with the Rangers that were high, but didn't quite get as close as that year with the Dodgers. But yeah, because back in 2010, he signed a 1-year deal with the Red Sox. And because he had just gotten off of, I think, a 5-year deal with the Seattle Mariners. And he kind of slumped a little bit. I wouldn't say he was horrible, but he wasn't as... The sky was the limit for him when he had that big 2004 season with the Dodgers. And then he slumped. And he was just a 25-homer guy, 70, 80 RBIs and whatnot. Not crazy. But that 2010 season, he led the majors in 49 doubles. And in 28 home runs, he got 102 RBIs. I think it was around a 300 batting average. He looked like he was starting to get back into his groove. Which that led to him signing a 6-year contract with the Rangers, which he became, of course, a franchise icon and a key piece that went for the 2011 World Series run. 3 of his 4 All-Star appearances and 4 of his 5 postseason appearances came with the Rangers. Of course, again, he appreciates that time with the Red Sox to turn around, but of course the Rangers gave him a chance and just be a part of a great team, come to the ballpark. Where just received him, it was a great combination for both. Once he got there, he just felt comfortable with the fan base, and it just all clicked for him. So, of course, he picks the Texas Rangers as the hat he will wear for the Hall of Fame, which I agree for sure. Again, I would say that, or the Dodgers for sure, because, again, the Mariners he was mediocre. But that 1 year with the Red Sox just lit the fire under him again, which is awesome for sure. So congratulations, of course, the first-time Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre. I figured he was going to be on the first year or the second year of his contract. I mean, yes, very underrated player. I feel like he still got overlooked quite a bit. But again, especially for guys who's come out of the Dominican Republic, he's definitely one of the best of all time. And again, just that rare mark, again, of having that mark compared with Derek Jeter, where he, where is that again? He's the only infielder with 3,000 hits and 5 Gold Gloves. That is just crazy. Of course, also, his good buddy Felix Hernandez, I believe, is on the Hall of Fame ballot for next year. But I don't know if he's going to get in, if I'm being honest. Then again, someone else gave me kind of hope on this one, but we'll talk about him in a second. But first, before we get to that one, we got to talk about Todd Helton, who got on his 6th year on the ballot after getting 72% last year. He received, I believe it was 79.7% of the votes. 307 votes he received. He played his entire 17-year career with the Colorado Rockies. Put up some great numbers overall. See if I can find any of them. Not on here at the moment. Oh, I can find them right here. Never mind. He had a little over 2,000 hits. He had 2,500 hits, 369 home runs, 1,400 RBIs, and a career .316 batting average. Of course, people say that the reason why, of course, it may have taken him a little bit longer to get there, probably because of the fact that he played in Coors Field his whole career, which was a very hitter-friendly ballpark, which, of course, is why in his first year on the ballot in 2019, he got just 16.5% of the votes. But we've seen people like him and even like Scott Rowland and a couple of others who started kind of lower like that. Some of them, have made a turnaround, and he, his chances increased every year. Although Helton, of course, did hit .345 with 227 home runs at Coors, on the road, he still hit a good .287, 142 home runs also. So he was still a great player at Coors and away from Coors. But he, of course, he's not embarrassed, of course, at all to represent the team, as he's only the second player besides Larry Walker to get into the Hall of Fame, which Walker got in on his last year on the ballot in 2020. I believe he went in with Derek Jeter. He's a 5-time All-Star, a 4-time Silver Slugger, of course, he led the majors in 2000 with a .372 batting average, and had consecutive seasons with 100 extra base hits in 2000 and 2001. And he finished his career with more walks than strikeouts, with 1,335, and strikeouts at 1,175. I know he did not win MVP award that in 2000, but I forgot who won it, but it was shocking that didn't happen for sure, especially after the numbers he had put up that year. Some outstanding numbers. And I think only Ichiro has either, tied that mark or surpassed it in 2004 when he broke the Major League record with hits in a single season with 262. But yeah, Todd Helton was the second person again. I definitely think he deserves it. Yes, again, his career's affected by him playing in Colorado, but again, another one of those rare one-team players that just had an impact on the field and whatnot. So I think he deserves it for sure. Again, I definitely agree he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I still just get bothered by these guys who they say, oh, they're only good here because they went to Coors. They were Coors Field. Not the case. I still don't like that. But yeah, Todd Helton, was second place on the ballot. And the third and final player to get over 75%. His first year on the ballot. And again, I'm not going to lie. Again, I'm definitely happy for this guy. But I am definitely surprised. But the third member with 76.1%, 293 votes, is Joe Mauer. He's just the third catcher to get into the Hall of Fame on his first ballot. The only other two, Johnny Bench and Ivan Rodriguez. And again, I still think he deserves it. He, of course, is a St. Paul, Minnesota native as well. Played his entire career with the Twins. He was the number 1 overall draft pick. And he went on to become a 6-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, a 3-time batting champion, and a 2009 American League MVP, which I remember, I think he actually started that year on the DL. I think he hit like 28 homers that year. He had a little bit more power. Like he did like everything that year. He got over 2,000 hits, 143 home runs, 900 some RBIs, was a career .306 hitter. Now, the reason why I thought that Joe Mauer may not have gotten I didn't think at first Joe Mauer would get into the Hall of Fame, though, is because his catching career did get cut short and his last 5 seasons of his career, after his history of concussions, he was league average first baseman, basically. He didn't really do much. So that's why I thought maybe it got hampered a little bit, but I guess, of course, he had made an impact enough at the catching position to stand among the greatest to ever do it. Again, a .306 hitter, tied for the 6th highest among catchers with at least 3,000 plate appearances, and a .388 on-base percentage, tied for 3rd. He is, of course, the only catcher to win 3 batting titles, and of course, he was by far the best position player in the time frame from 2004 to 2013, and of course, again, all with the Twins. And that MVP year in 2009, here are the numbers. He hit .365 that year, an on-base percentage of .444, slugging percentage of .587, and hit a career-best 28 home runs. That's some phenomenal numbers as a catcher, of course. Yeah, like I said, I thought that maybe the last 5 years when he got reduced to just a first baseman, I thought that might hurt him, his chance to get into the Hall of Fame, which is why, because like guys like, well, not all catchers, but guys like, Jorge Posada, who isn't in the Hall of Fame. Mark Teixeira, he's a first base, but he didn't even get past the first year on the ballot a couple years ago. I'm very shocked by that. And a few others who barely even made it over the first year. I didn't think Joe Mauer was going to have that much of a chance. But he did, and I'm happy for him. He definitely deserves it. And of course, he will be going in as a member of the Twins as well. Now, the other, of course, some other noteworthy things to note on here. Again, Billy Wagner, as I said before, was 5 votes away, getting 73.8% of the vote. He'll have one more year on the ballot. The only other person besides a few first years who didn't get past the 5%, the only other player, unfortunately, who was on their 10th year on the ballot and did not get in, of course, was 63.9% of the vote, was Gary Sheffield. I do kind of see Sheffield as a little overrated in my opinion, and I know, of course, he definitely had a history of some attitude things I know of. He did change teams a lot, so I can kind of see, why he didn't get in, but I do see him as someone that could get in probably eventually through the Veterans Committee. So all hope's not dead for Chef. I think he will get in someday through the Veterans Committee. Andrew Jones was in his 7th year on the ballot, had 61.6%, went up a little bit from last year, I believe. It's going to be close for Andrew. Of course, he has 3 more years on the ballot. Again, he's one of the only players to have 400 home runs and 10 Gold Gloves, so I think he has a shot. On his second year on the ballot, Carlos Beltran had a nice little increase, went from 46% last year to 57% this year. In a couple of years, he'll probably get in, I think so. But guys like Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, kind of staying in the same spot. Rodriguez in his 3rd year on the ballot had 34.8%, which is around the mark he usually has had the past couple of years. Manny in his 8th year had 32.5%. He's really not budged either. Now, another first-year player who had not too bad of a start, but Chase Utley had 28.8% in his first year on the ballot, which, again, is not bad. Guys like Rowland and Helton all had, lower percentages their first year on the ballot. So, don't sleep on Chase Utley. He could get in eventually. I think it's possible. Omar Vizquel, who I did think had a chance years ago until an accusation came out on him, he's dropped massively, down to 17.7% in his 7th year on the ballot. You also got people like Bobby Abreu, Jimmy Rollins, Andy Pettit, and Mark Burley, who are kind of just hanging around, barely getting over, getting 8 to 15% of the vote. I don't know if any of them are really going to get in. I feel like some people still say Jimmy Rollins has a chance, but he really hasn't gained that much ground the 3 years he's been in there. So I don't know about Jimmy. And the others, I don't see them. Francisco Rodriguez, his second year of the ballot, just 7.8%. I'm very shocked by that. The guy who holds the league record and the single season record in saves is 62. He has 400 some career saves. How many does Frankie Rodriguez have? Where is that? It's not showing that part. Never mind. I thought he had over 400 saves. I know he bounced around later in his career with some teams, but still, I think he should be higher up there. Torrey Hunter, former Gold Glover, is kind of hanging around there too. And then David Wright, in his first year on the ballot, had 6.2%. If he didn't get injured a heck of a lot, I think David Wright would have definitely been a Hall of Famer. But unfortunately, his injuries, I don't think he's going to get in. And then there was a few players it was their first year on the ballot, but they didn't get the 5% needed, so they will be off the ballot for next year. And those guys are Victor Martinez. Slightly surprised on that one a little bit because he definitely had a good career as a catcher as well. But I guess, of course, he didn't come close to anything with Joe Mauer's accomplishments for sure. Jose Bautista, who I kind of figured. I mean, 344 home runs, but that's all you do is hit left field home runs. Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy. I thought maybe Big Sexy would get past the first year at least. I mean, yes, he pitched for a very long time, but he was popular. I don't think he would have ever gotten in the Hall of Fame, but I thought he may have been able to stay on the ballot for a few years. Matt Holliday, he had 316 career home runs of 299. I could have seen him maybe staying a little bit longer, but I don't know. Again, he unfortunately left Coors Field, and he was, still a decent player, but he definitely was not as big as he was in Colorado. Adrian Gonzalez, 300 home run hitter, didn't get past there. Could have maybe seen him be on the ballot for a few years, but he only got 3 votes. Brandon Phillips only got 1 vote. He's out as well. Put up some numbers for second baseman, but that doesn't have the resume that Chase Utley had. And then there was Jose Reyes, who didn't get any votes, former shortstop. I know he had some injuries as well later in his career. And then there was James Shields as well, who just had 145 wins, 139 losses, and a 4.01 ERA. Didn't expect much for him, unfortunately, either. And then there's a few names, just a preview next year's ballot really quick, which y'all know I'm excited about that one, because guess who is on the ballot for the first time? Ichiro Suzuki. And that's definitely a predicted first ballot Hall of Famer right there. Ichiro Suzuki for sure. Other names, of course, on the ballot for first time be CC Sabathia. I think he definitely has a chance as well. Dustin Pedroia, probably not, because again, he got hampered by injuries. Ian Kinsler, maybe. I don't know for. I'm not gonna say for sure, but maybe. Felix Hernandez, possibly. I don't know. I don't think. I like to think maybe so, because especially since he was spent almost all except for one of his seasons with the Mariners. But I don't know if he's going to get too far. Troy Tulowitzki, someone else who just got hampered by injuries, unfortunately, so probably not. Ben Zobrist, although he has a lot of playoff experience, he's not going to be getting in. Curtis Granderson could last a little long. Same with Hanley Ramirez. Russell Martin. Russell Martin deserves a lot more. Well, I have a lot of respect for Russell Martin, but I don't see it either. And then Adam Jones as well. It will be on the Hall on the first time. Of course, then we have several returning, like again David Wright, Torrey Hunter, Frankie Rodriguez, Mark Burley, Andy Pettit, Jimmy Rollins, Bobby Abreu, Omar Vizquel, Chase Utley, Manny Ramirez, Alex Rodriguez, Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, and Billy Wagner. And it will be Billy Wagner's 10th year on the ballot next year. And guys, that's basically all my thoughts on the Hall of Fame elections for 2024. Again, congratulations again to Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, and Todd Helton for getting into the class of 2024 Hall of Fame. Again, they will be inducted with Jim Leyland this coming summer. So what are your guys' thoughts on these elections? Who do you think should have gotten in? Do you think some people should have been on the ballot longer as well? Again, what are your thoughts again about Beltre, Maurer, and Helton all getting in? And do you guys think Billy Wagner will get there next year? I think he has a shot. I think people do take into consideration people who were on the last year of the ballot. Some get in, some don't. But we'll see for Billy next year. We hope so for Billy. But can't rule out Ichiro. My boy Ichiro, my favorite player of all time, he's going to get in next year. I would be stunned if Ichiro didn't get in. And maybe CC Sabathia as well. I can see CC having a chance. Not too many others have much of a chance again. Maybe Carlos Beltran make a nice push for it. Andrew Jones, again, is getting close as well. But we will see. Again, leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!